Welcome to the Bill and Gypsy Show.
Where we help you turn y'all's wedding dreams from sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows
Into amazing experiences, making you the hero of your own story and creating oohs and ahs from your guests.
Bill Hansen has catered over 10,000 weddings, starting back in the 1960s, y'all. While he's 75 years young, he's not retired, he is refired. His beautiful weddings at Vizcaya, Villa Woodbine, Deering Estate, and over 500 venues in the area are sought after by those with very distinctive tastes.
Well, thank you for the kind introduction, Gypsy. Gypsy is the epitome of sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. But there's a lot more to Gypsy than that. She has experienced the good, the bad, and the ugly of weddings. And so she knows what works. She knows what doesn't work. But if you're watching this and you're excited but confused, apprehensive, worried, you're on the right channel right here, because we're going to help you find perfect solutions to help you create memories for a lifetime.
If you want to take your event to the next level, then that means you have to have entertainment. There's so many parts to entertainment to keep your guests out of the chairs and onto their dance floor. So our guest today, Michael Feria from the Event Factor, is going to tell us all the secrets about entertainment and how it will make your event stunning. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Great to be here. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Gypsy. I'm excited for this. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're most welcome, Michael, and thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. I love the records behind you. Are those 45s or 33?
No, they're the 12-inch. Those are my original records when I started DJing many moons ago.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so I can't get rid of them, so I put them on the wall.
There you go. There you go. I've got a lot of stuff behind me too from memories of the past. But my question to you, as you mentioned, you started DJing. How did you get started in the entertainment business? And why is it really necessary to have entertainment at weddings and even corporate events? What tidbits of advice can you give our loyal viewers?
Awesome. Well, I started DJing at a very young age, 15 years old. By the time I was 17, I was doing events for American Express and big companies like that. Slowly but surely, by the time I was 22, I said, I think I could do this for a living, and I want to take my talents and find other talents and take this to the private sector and just have South Florida's top, entertainment company and really provide an amazing service to these clients, whether it be a wedding or a corporate client, etc., where they get the best of both worlds. And what are both worlds? A great DJ that mixes live, knows how to read a crowd, knows how to keep them dancing, but is also a trained MC that can command everyone's attention, welcome the guest, introduce the bride and groom, announce the toast, do all these good things. While being professional, but not being, cheesy or not at the top of their game. So,
right, and they don't want to act like they're the life of the party. Really, that's a huge turnoff for some couples.
Exactly. So, why is it necessary to have good entertainment? Because a professional, like the professionals that we have on our team here at Event Factor, we make sure we work well with the planner, the caterer, all the other vendors. We work together with a couple. We ask them questions. We have them fill out forms online. And then when we arrive at the event, you have a DJ that's super sharp, well-dressed. It's going to be great on the microphone. And it's going to go through all the steps, all the traditions that the couple may or may not want to do. And it's going to make or break the event. The food could be amazing, which it always is with you guys. The decor could be beautiful. But if the DJ doesn't know how to talk to the guests, the music's not right at the right time, the right dinner music, the right cocktail music, the right introductions, and then party music, they're going to forget how good the food was. They're going to forget how beautiful the flowers were. They're just going to say, oh my God, we sat down all night. This music was horrible. The DJ mumbled his words. So I think it's very important to have entertainment, but to have the right people on the team.
Right, right. And then particularly important to us at Villa Woodbine, because we're in a residential neighborhood. It's very important to listen to the people. If the volume gets too loud, it's important to have DJs that'll say, okay, fine, I'll turn it down.
100% here, like I mentioned earlier, we're here to work with the vendors. It's not about us. We're not, divas. Hey, I'm the DJ, leave me alone. No, we're here to work with you guys to ensure that the wedding goes great. That's the main goal. The main goal is to give this couple an amazing time. And the only way that will happen is if vendors that get along and are willing to work together are there, present, and making it happen for the couple. So
Cool.
100%. And one of the good things is, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, we're not only DJs and entertainers, we have an audiovisual and lighting production department. So we understand sound. We understand the importance of the placement of the speakers, how loud to put things, etc. So we even take a volume meters with us to make sure that we don't go over the dBs.
Right. That is very, very important. And talking about, like, you were talking about the entertainment and DJs and all. I've had several weddings where we have that combination of a DJ and a band. Tell me why you think it's important, or is it necessary to have both, or how do you feel? What kind of audience, or do you gauge when you're talking to the bride and groom, like if they should do the combination or not, and why is it helpful?
So if the couple wants live entertainment, I 100% am of the professional opinion, that there should be both a DJ and a band. Why? Because as great as a band could be, which we provide bands and our guys and girls are amazing, the DJ is the MC. So he's going to help with all the transitioning. The band takes breaks, there's first dances, there's toast, band, etc. So it's good that they work together. For example, let's say cocktail's done, guests are going to transition to reception. How amazing is it when those doors open and there's a live band playing, right? So they'll play for 20 minutes as guests are taking their seats, etc. Once everyone's seated, band stops, they stay on stage, DJ, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, etc., etc. They welcome the guests. They'll play the first dance for the bride and groom. Maybe we'll even go into toast. Band could play dinner. They take their break. DJ can make announcements. DJ can finish playing dinner music. Boom, band kicks off the party, right? Because the couple really wanted live music. They take their break 45 minutes later. DJ goes on and kind of changes the mood a little bit. Band comes back. DJ ends the night with like an after party type of vibe that the band might not be able to create. So I think it definitely, if the client wants a band, they should get the DJ combo because it really works well together.
Okay, Michael. So one of the things, years ago, I wrote a book on catering, and one of the things I put into the book was some criteria for how many members you should have in a band based upon the number of guests. Okay, quite frankly, I don't remember what I wrote. That was 25 plus years ago. But
Okay.
What is your advice to couples as to the size of the party and how many members should they have in a band?
Okay, so I say it would be several different factors that go into play. The size of the venue, if there's noise ordinance, like you mentioned, the amount of guests attending the event, and also the type of music the client wants the band to play. So if this is going to be a very intimate, smaller wedding, let's say like at your venue, Villa Woodbine, I would do, I would say a 5-piece, so everything is live, is not overkill, and it's a nice amount. And I say 5, so you could have, drums, keys, bass, vocals, and maybe a horn section, right? And with those 5, you could definitely get away with doing some top 40, some jazz, some, even maybe some Latin music. But if you have an venue, 150 guests, you're in a ballroom, and you really want to have a well-rounded experience for dinner music, maybe even have them play your first dance, really do a cool party set, I would say like around 8-ish is a key number. It's a great number because you could have 2 vocalists, you could have 2 different percussions, you could have horns, and you could have keys and even bass. So I would say like, between 7 and 9 is always a nice number. I mean, we've done 12 and 13, but I think 8 is a good number, between 5 and 8, depending on the size.
Good.
You mentioned earlier on top of the show about lighting, that y'all do lighting as well. So, and that is a very important part of entertainment. The music and the lighting is a combination again. How do you feel that lighting influenced the mood of the event?
Oh, it definitely influences and can totally affect the core and how you feel throughout the event. So we offer lighting because it goes hand in hand with entertainment. Most of the packages we do, when it comes to, if they go with the full lighting, we always like to have a light technician on site that can control these lights, whether it be the up lights on the perimeter of the room or the building. A lot of times those lights are on the perimeter, so they can't fill the center of the room. So we'll do some downwash for the center of the room so you can see the tables and the decor. And then we'll typically have a couple of moving lights. Now these moving lights are controlled by the light technician. So imagine you walk into this ballroom, let's say the decor calls for like a soft amber sunset type of color. Everything's beautiful. You have some moving lights slowly circling the room. When the DJ presents the bride and groom, boom, the light tech will click a button and that will spotlight the bride and groom on the first, on the dance floor for their first dance. For toast, you'll have the best man or the maid of honor nicely lit. And then once the party starts, the DJ says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed your dinner. At this time, we're gonna get the party started." Boom, the room goes blue, the lights are moving. It really affects the senses. So I think that lighting is key. And maybe you don't wanna go that crazy. Maybe it's a very low key, smaller wedding at Villa Woodbine outside. You do some string lighting, maybe hang some chandeliers, and that will totally change the mood. So I definitely think lighting is very important.
I guess it adds the sparkle to the event.
Yes, 100%. I've actually had a client recently that saw us at an event, saw us at 2 events back to back. One of them, we did the full lighting. The other one, the bride said, I don't want any lighting in the same room. This was at the Four Seasons in Brickell. And she's like, "What happened the second time? I mean, the music was great, but the room was like dark." I'm like, "The client chose not to have lighting." She's like, "Oh my God, I need all the lighting." Like they saw it in person. It makes a difference. It ties everything together.
Let's talk about money now, because everybody watching this has a budget. So how do you advise them to budget for music, entertainment, and lighting? In other words, is there a percentage number if they have a total budget of $50,000? Could you help our viewers out with some answers on that?
I don't have a percentage that I could tell you, but what I can say is when they start their planning process, whether they have a planner or not, they really got to take into consideration and write down, from top to bottom, what's most important for them. Mm-hmm. Most of the brides and grooms that I meet with will tell me straight to my face that entertainment is the most important thing to them. Obviously their dress and, the food and all that, but they always stress the music has to be great, the DJ has to be a good MC, and the lighting needs to look nice. But then, unfortunately, sometimes we fall at the end of the barrel for budget because they got through the venue, the food, the dress, the flowers. So they need to take that idea. Whenever they're thinking of their wedding, the music comes to mind at the very top, they need to consider a decent budget, do their research, call vendors that are at the same caliber of the other vendors that they're hiring and the venue that they're going to, because I think that's very, very important.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes we get clients that are, like you said, Four Seasons, and the budget's not realistic when they compare it to certain vendors that are not gonna provide all the little details that a company like Event Factor provides, meeting with them unlimited, doing walkthroughs, providing them with online access to pick their music. You know, we have staff here that'll take unlimited calls for them to answer their questions, pick the right music, pick the right lights. We'll sit them in our showroom, and if we have to spend 2 hours changing colors so they can pick the right hue, you know, we do that. And obviously that comes with a price tag. But they definitely got to consider what's important for them, and then, you know, balance it out. You know, maybe music's more important and they definitely want a band. Well, see what flowers you put. Maybe you put one less hydrangea in each vase, and there will be extra entertainment budget for you.
Yeah, or a few less hors d'oeuvres or a chicken.
No,
Or
not that. Not
chicken.
that.
How would you like your chicken? You know?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. In closing, Michael, what advice do you always have for brides and grooms when they first come and meet with you or your staff? What's one of the main advice that you give them when choosing their entertainment, their lighting, everything, the entire package?
So my advice is always to do their research. I always encourage my clients, after we're done meeting, and, you know, give me your time. Let me go over everything. Let me ask you questions. Let me, you know, paint a picture for you of how we're going to do things. And I encourage them to go and shop around, but always compare apples to apples. Like Bill said earlier, everyone has a budget, and we understand that. But sometimes it's hard to, you know, they don't understand what we do, right? Because they're not DJs and they're not entertainers or production people. But they definitely need to do their research and have someone that understands their vision, has everything in place that's going to ensure that their event goes off without a hitch. And what I mean by that, the appropriate insurance for the venue, the enough staff that, God forbid, someone gets sick or hurt, you know, someone's always going to show up at that event that knows what they're doing, that will be able to log in and get a transcript of what's supposed to be done at their event. You know, and all those little things that at the end of the day, they might not see it, but really are going to ensure the best day of their life.
Beautiful. And I think when they hire you, they're selecting a true professional and someone that really knows what works as well as things that won't work. So Michael, we want to thank you so much for joining us today on our little show and telling us about music and lighting and everything else. So for your viewers out there, you can contact Michael through Event Factor, and we'll put it up on the screen. If you liked what you just watched, click the like. If you have a question, comment, or concern, send it back in. And most importantly, tune in next week for our next Bill and Gipsy show. So thank you very much, and God bless everybody. So
Thank you so much. Thank you, Gipsy. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Michael. We appreciate you being on the show.